We'll put 30 seconds on the clock. While those 30 seconds are going off the clock, I'd like to welcome you to the March 24th meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit Board of Directors. We are happy to have you here, and we hope that you will use your voice on the microphone to let us know what we're doing, whether we're doing good or whether we're doing bad. We want to hear it. And so I want to thank you for coming and being here today. Tabitha, would you do roll call so we can, and then read the Metro Cable replay statement?
Of course. Director Brewer?
Here.
Director Budge?
Here.
Director Dickinson? Here. Director Hume? Here. Director Kennedy?
Here.
Director Maple is absent. Director Rorba?
Here.
Director Schaefer is absent. Director Cerna? And Director Singh Allen is absent. And Chair Jennings.
Here.
With that, we have a quorum of 8 votes, and this meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District is recorded with closed captioning. The recording will be cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. This recording will also be video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Thursday, March 27th at noon and Sunday, March 30th at 2 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed demand at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a speaker card located in the rear of the room and provide it to myself or Adam. Once the item has been called, additional speaker cards will not be accepted. The time allowed for public comment is at the chair's discretion. The timer will chime when you have 20 seconds and then again when your time is up. And there was no written public comment received for today's meeting.
Thank you very much. Our Pledge of Allegiance is next, and I'd like Director Rorba to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Nothing like being important.
I pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Are there any questions from the public regarding directors? Is this the time for public comment?
No, we'll do the consent calendar first. We have consent calendar items 2.1 to 2.8, and there is no public comment.
I see that now. That's good. Okay. Then we will then ask directors for any comments at this point in time on the consent calendar. Is there a motion? Oh, comments. Director Dickinson.
Question.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is on item 2.4, and my question was related to, and it's in all caps, gasoline-fueled vehicles. Is there no alternative fueled vehicles that are available in this class, or is it just the state contract isn't seeking alternative fuel vehicles, or is something else entirely? Can somebody expand on that?
Blanca Bus Operations. It's a non-revenue vehicles for our maintenance. Right now in the contract, we don't have any specific language for only gasoline right now are in the contract. We would have to check to see if that would be anything that we can look at in the future, but right now the items are listed as only gasoline.
So, just make sure I understand. Is this being procured under a state grant?
Yes.
Not a state grant, but state
Yes.
purchasing, which gives us the best price?
Yes,
Well,
correct.
And so, in their specs, they didn't specify any option for alternative fuel, or they did, or?
They didn't.
They did not?
No.
Okay. So if we buy through the state contract, we don't have any ability to affect what their specs are, or do we?
No, right? No, we don't. We don't.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something, I don't know when the next time you're going to buy non-revenue service vehicles, but it seems to me it's always something we should be pushing for, at least to get the option.
Okay. We will do that.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Other directors, comments, questions?
Hearing none, I will move approval of the consent calendar
items 2.1 through 2.8.
Second.
The consent calendar has been moved and seconded. Without any further questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The consent calendar moves. So let's move to item 3, Public Addresses Board on matters not on the agenda.
Well,
Okay, we have 2 comments. We have Troy Wilkinson and Michelle Baker. Troy Wilkinson?
Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. My name is Troy Wilkinson. I'm here as a member of Strong Sacktown, an organization focused on improving livability for all in Sacramento. I wanted to just come and introduce myself to you all because this is my first meeting. It's very nice to see you all, get to know you as the directors of RT. I appreciate Director Dickinson's question on electrifying some of the vehicle purchases, but I also just wanted to offer anecdotal experience about riding on RT, the feeling that it's kind of unclear as far as the amount of staffing that happens on RT trains. I see a lot of times no one there to check tickets. In fact, most of the time, no one's there to check tickets. There's plenty of, kind of not so sanitary things happening around stations, people feeling unsafe, my spouse feeling unsafe, as well as people urinating on station platforms. And no one there to catch it. I don't know what happens. So further work to improve that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Dr. Kennedy.
Mr. Wilkinson, you're talking specifically light rail and not buses?
Light rails, yeah.
And which line?
For just all of these comments or particular?
Generally, which lines do you ride that you find these comments to be appropriate?
So my spouse rides the blue line to Sacramento City College, and at her station, she has to come home pretty late because her class ends at 9. And so a lot of times there's no one there. Sometimes there's people who are making her feel unsafe, etc. Then there's also the yellow line, the gold line, and then I pretty recently recall going to go from Sunrise Station back to the Central Valley area, and someone was urinating on the platform. Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Chair, for indulging me. Have you ridden on the new cars, the low-floor cars?
And those are cleaner,
Okay.
for sure, than the previous
They better
ones.
be.
Yeah. There, oftentimes there's trash still there, and I'm curious how frequently that gets picked up, but aside from that, those are an improvement.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. Next speaker, please.
Michelle Baker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle Baker. I'm actually a passenger of RT. This is my first meeting that I've attended since last year. So my thing is that the issue that I want to address regarding the flex is here's a suggestion. I think that with the flex, I think they should create a monthly pass for all the riders who take flex. It just makes it a little bit easier for us. And, it just, because sometimes some of us don't always have the money to pay for it. So with a monthly pass, just like using the actual bus pass, monthly bus pass, I think the flex should have a monthly pass. To make it easier for us who can't pay out of pocket. All right, that was all that I have to say. I can't think of anything else right now, but that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Same day rides. Oh yeah, and they should do same day rides too, just like what they did with the Smart Ride. They should do that with the Flex too. We'll make it easier.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you. And those will be taken in consideration. Appreciate it. Next speaker, please.
The next item is the general manager's report. 4.1.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and the public. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the public comments. We will definitely take a look at that to see how we can improve. So instead of doing the regular GM report, I decided to skip that instead. To share with the board and the public this presentation. The reason we want to share this is, normally in the past, we always, be able to secure meetings with FTA headquarter, officials and U.S. DOT officials, and we're going to do that again this year in the early May, and. In last several years, each time we met with FTA, we always, were able to bring significant amount of the grants from the federal government. And I want to just go through this presentation with the board and with two purposes. First, is just try to get some feedback from the board. Secondly, and then, because every time when we met with FTA, each board member always were able to advocate, promote projects, and more importantly, promote this region is a highly collaborative region. And that really, did very well in front of the federal government. So that being said, let's just run this presentation quickly. So recently, U.S. DOT Secretary made a whole bunch of communications or directives, and if you can look at the bottom, there were 5 major directives: regain the public trust, prioritize families, business efficiency, reduce crime, including assaults on customers and transit workers, and reduce fare evasion. I want to very proudly say that these 5 major initiatives actually have been our top priorities in the last 10 years. We have achieved some significant results and put us well ahead of our peers. Next slide. Before, if I'm going to talk to them, so I try to have 2 slides just to have some Sacramento snapshot. And the first one, we're the largest multimodal transit provider, serving 90% of public transit riders, and with about 1,500 employees, a $2 billion capital budget in FY25, and our operating budget is $267 million. And we have a highly diversified rider profile. 67% of our riders are transit-dependent riders, and our bus ridership recovery ratio is 103%. Our light rail is a little bit behind, and with the governor's new direction about 4-day in-person working policy, we hope our light rail ridership will fully recover very soon. Next slide. So in terms of regain public trust, and we have done lots of initiatives such as annexations for 5 actually entities, and that is the best demonstration how we have regained public trust. And let's look at the next one. And in 2016, under Measure A, initiative. Every time we did 3 Measure A, in last 9 years. One is 2016, one is 2019, one is 2021. If you look at the 2016, we were ranked as least trustworthy. With our historical turnaround, because of the strong leadership of this board and diligent work of all staff and a wonderful partnership with almost all peers, all partners in this region. 2019 and 2021, the public polls actually showed Sacramento at 65% satisfaction rating, and other public entities and jurisdictions who actually received the funding from the Measure A, they rank as 41 to 51%. So we really turned around. Next. In terms of prioritizing families, our right-free RT for over 300,000 students to make sure they can ride us free, that really helped the families and also helped the schools. And definitely we are creating lifelong transit riders. Next one, please. In terms of business optimization or efficiency, if you look at the NTD National Transit Database data in terms of financial performance, on the left side, on the cost per mile for bus, our cost is about $15 per mile. But our top 10 transit peers in the LA, in California, is about $20. On the right side, our cost per revenue mile for light rail, our cost is about $22, but our peers is about $27. So we are, looks like we have some of the lowest operating cost compared to our peers. Based on the national transit data information, it's not something we ask for them. It's based on the actual reports from the federal government. Next slide, please. And our innovative, cost-efficient 3P really result in some significant cost saving. For example, Sacramento Flex, our cost annually, we're going to save about $8.5 million. With the inflation in the next 10 years, we will save more than $100 million. That saving will ensure we will have funding to maintain our current bus and rail and paratransit services, and also paying our employees, especially union employees, in a highly competitive way. And with the Sacramento Go with USERV, and USERV is a private partner. They help us with about 30% of paratransit service. The cost is about 50% lower than what we incurred. And next, please. And the TODs in the past several years, we have line, we built the TODs for 6 out of 9 properties, and about, if I recall, it's about 3,000 affordable housing units were built, and also about 10,000 affordable housing units are being built. We're going to put that 3,000 and 10,000 into this slide so people can see that directly. And certainly TOD will actually revitalizing our neighborhood and create economic return and increase ridership. Next slide, please. a lot of major topic from the new the Secretary of DOT is reduce the crime and fear evasion. We implement lots of industry, best practices to address the crime issues, and our crime dropped over 34% in last several years. Right now, the crime rate is extremely low at 7 incidents per 1 million rights. Our fear evasion is less than 1%, and just about 10 years ago, our fear evasion rate was about double digit, as high as 21%. And I remember at that time, Director Sura and was the chair. His number one directive to staff is, I want you guys to reduce that. And we worked very hard to reduce that. And we received top national awards on safety and security. If you look at the next slide. Out of last 6 years, we received 6 top national safety awards, including 2 from Federal Transportation Security Administration, the Golden Standard Awards. Out of 6,800 transit agencies, they are managing in terms of safety and security, or they are measuring. Each year, they only award 3 transit agencies. And we were very fortunate 2022 and 2019, we received an award from them. And then after, give us 4 additional safety and security awards. We really feel grateful for these awards, and thank board and community partners' support, and thank staff's hard work. Next one, please. Very high-level snapshot of major capital projects. We have over 100 capital projects in $2 billion budget, which $1.1 billion funding are secured. And we list 9 major projects here. The next slide here. Our overall last 6 to 7 years, and then the future 5 years. In last 7 years, our investment to sales ratio is 300%, or 3 times. $1 generate $3 economic return. And our capital investment in last 6-7 years is about $523 million. Created 26,000 jobs. Our next 5 years, the investment is about $800 million, and projected to create 40,000 jobs, and increase in business sales $2.4 billion. And the previous slide I said, we secured $1.1 billion, but lots of money in the last 5-6 years have not spent yet. And so that's why we can confidently project the future, $800 million capital investment. We might secure way more than 800 million because majority of this money are already secured. So next slide, please. So if you can see, because this is for federal government or even potential White House meeting, and in the second row from the right side, what we secured, and the request to federal funding is about $400 million. Majority of this already secured, and total our project is a $1.1 billion. We got about 40% funding from federal government, which accounts about 35%. So we want to really thank federal government for a very generous support on our capital projects. And this is just so, they really, view this region as a high, as a worth, investment region. So next one. Next about line slides is talking about the individual line projects. And the first one is the vehicle, light rail vehicle. Total cost is about $450 million. Out of 66 new low-floor vehicles needed, 59 have been delivered or ordered. Next slide, please. This is the latter two elements of light rail modernization, stations and tracks. We secured $194 million, fully funded, and in 2 or 3 years, all Gold Line and Blue Line stations will be completed. The phase 1 of Gold Line stations, 29 stations, are already done. This will, add more, new good-paying jobs and increase ridership. Next slide, please. The Sacramento downtown riverside riverfront streetcar, this has been 20 years in the making. 2 years ago, finally, the JPA of a streetcar said, enough is enough. We dump to you guys, not dump to us, just transfer to us. So we took that, and we immediately work with the federal partner and the state partner to move this forward. By the middle of this year, maybe a couple months later, we are ready for FTA's review. And next slide, please. And we will ask for $36 million, the funding is out here, to complete this project. And we all know rail yards is one of 2 largest urban development zones in the nation, and also rail yards is the 22nd largest job center in the U.S. too. So this bears some significance of the amount relation in terms of this project. Next one, please. This is the cost for the streetcar. Total cost is about $164 million, $120 million secured, and we are asking FTA to award us additional $36 million. That is one of the 3 major requests in FTA meeting. Next one, please. Then Watt I-80, this is fully funded, and we hope we will finish, a year later. Okay, next one. The BFM2, this boils, very significant, impact for this whole region. We will build the first hydrogen fueling facility, or the production facility for hydrogen, first in the capital region. We don't have single one here, and we're going to buy 29 hydrogen buses, likely up to 72 hydrogen buses, and the fueling site will be used for public and private, not just for ourselves. It's going to for public use too. The total cost right now we secured, or we think we will definitely secured, is about $150 million. We're thinking about another $50 million we will secure down the road, and this will generate about 1,081 new good-paying jobs and driving the growth of hydrogen fuel production and the economy in Northern California. Next slide, please. Okay. The Dulles Rail, is a vital link along the Blue Line, support about 500 affordable housing units with the TOD, and create about 546 new jobs, and increase our ridership. Next slide. We think we will be able to finish this within about two years or 3 years. We got about $9.6 million federal, build grant, which previously we called RACE grant. And the build grant was the Trump administration's first term called build, better utilizing investment to leverage development, something like that. Then $42 million for this. Okay, next one, please. Home Road Light Rail Station. I have talked to Director Budge and Director Sander and the city of Rancho Cordova for a while, and we need to make this happen. This will support 42 acres of commercial and residential development. It's very significant and provides access, transit access to 55,000 jobs. The Rancho Cordova is a truly job creation center. Okay, that's fine. Cost is about $33 million. We secured about $10 million, and we're submitting we wanted to submit application for build grant for $13 million a couple months ago. Okay, next one, please. Stockton Boulevard BRT is our one. It's the first of our future transit, and we are talking about 5-6 BRTs in the major corridors: Sunrise, Watt Avenue, Florin, Arden, and other corridors. Stockton is the first. The benefits are so significant. This will benefit, 71,000 residents, 80,000 jobs, and we secured about $15 million so far, maybe $13 million. And our ask is, next slide, please. Okay, can you go back to the previous one? Okay. We are going to ask next year, about $50 million federal funding to support this project. So one is we talk about the streetcar. It's about $36 million. Then another $13 million for the home roads, and then this $50 million combined together is $100 million. But we already submit or about to submit the first two, total $50 million. Ask. Then next year is this, another $100 million. The good thing is, if we secured $100 million federal money, then we will secure probably $200 million state money, because they require us to have leverage or to have secure other funding to leverage state money. Okay, next slide, please. BRT or light rail to Elk Grove and airport. This has been 20 years in the discussions. We cannot wait another 20 years. So right now is the right time to take actions. Either decide the BRT, then we can move forward with BRT, or light rail. Then probably next 2 years, we have to make a decision. Depend on 2026 if we're going to have potential sales tax measure or not. And But we needed to do feasibility study now, and because in 2 or 3 years, what right-of-ways in the airport route, we have to reverse those right-of-ways. So decision has to be made. Okay, next one, please. So, as I just mentioned, streetcar, we're going to ask for $36 million. Then home road, we already asked for $13 million. That's about $50 million. Then the BRT of Stockton Boulevard, we are going to ask for $50 million maybe later next year. So that is our ask in the FTA meeting or any other meeting with our congressional delegates or even White House meeting. And certainly, we next one, please. Next slide. We just want to thank U.S. DOT and FTA. We deeply value their strong partnership and leadership, and we're eager to work together with them to achieve great results in the future. And we want them to know how actually in the last 10 years at least, we have been relentlessly doing something. They actually just point out crime, fair evasion, supporting family, all those return investment, all those have a great sense. And we want to work with them, partner with them to make this region even better and greater and more bright future. That is a basic presentation, and unfortunately, in a meeting, 40 minutes meeting normally with FTA or others, and with about 6 or 7 board members, each at least needs to 3 minutes to talk. So this presentation probably just about 5 minutes. So lots of stuff will be cut, and then we have to leave FTA and US DOT to talk about 10, 15 minutes. So we did that very well in the previous meetings with them, and each board member actually did exceptionally well in terms of promote some projects, especially talk about the region, how we work together connectively.
Thank you, Henry. That's a great report. And I want to kind of open it up for director questions and director comments, as well as the public comments on that report. So, Director Kennedy, start us off.
Thank you, Chair. Henry, I appreciate the report. I appreciate your position to stay politically neutral as well as staff, as you have to. You have to work with whatever administration's there. That being said, and I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, but this administration is more likely to slap me upside the head than feed me with that hand. So my question is, because most of what you identified as far as funding that we received clearly happened before this administration. I'm very dubious as to this administration's commitment to transit. I'm particularly very dubious to this administration's hostility to electrification of transportation. So that I want to focus on that because we have requirements we have to make, and we're dependent heavily upon grants from federal and state government in order to electrify our system. Do you see, have you heard anything, is there anything on the horizon that there's going to be a lack of interest in participating in helping us meet those electrification goals from the federal government?
Thank you, Chair Kennedy, or Director Kennedy, but he has been our chair for many years. So that's why, I got a call a week ago. I got some more than wonderful news, but it's not appropriate for us to share. I can talk to you later. Besides.
Thank you.
My colleagues? No? Let's do.
So I want to thank you for providing us with the snapshot and knowing that this is a rough cut before the actual meeting takes place. How many of the applications have we submitted to the federal government right now? 3. Okay. And based on the timeline or the time window, is there an expectation to receive word from the agencies this year on those awards, or is it more of a longer window to wait?
The one award we expect is Home Road Station, $13 million, and US DOT encouraged us to submit that 2 months ago, and we hope we will be able to get that award. Then we're going to submit like $36 million for the streetcar. That award normally a year later, yeah.
Director Hume.
Thank you, Chair. Henry, I just wanted to clarify when you were discussing the light rail / rapid transit to the airport in Elk Grove. I believe it was relative to the Green Line to the airport. You mentioned the easements or the right-of-way might be expiring. Is that true? There's a sunset on the
sunset,
application?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's 2028.
2028 is the dedication?
Yeah, dedication, we either reverse back.
And do we have to have the project identified or construction underway, or what is the trigger that preserves those?
As long as we identify the BRT or whatever, we establish that, we submit that request to FTA, and then we're secure.
Okay. And then my second question is going back to some of the very early slides in this deck relative to the safety and the fare evasion and what we're reporting as a reduction. We just heard a very different story told here tonight by a public commenter. And so, if I were to cover my eyes, then what I witness as transgressions goes down to 0, but that doesn't mean that they aren't happening. And so are we keeping pace with our efforts to curb these things, and we're truly seeing that as a real-world happenstance?
This really hard to say, because any moment somebody will mess up the train. They can throw stuff.
Sure.
So any moment. What we have been doing, we try to use our cleaners strategically located in the middle of those lines. As long as we find that those cleanliness issue, we immediately get people to address that. So that's one. Secondly, we virtually have a transit ambassador on each train to check the fares. And sometimes, there are always times, some riders may not say that.
Sure.
And stations, sometimes, people may not, through some, paper or newspaper throughout. And, this gentleman mentioned, college, Sac College. That is a particular area, people throw stuff. But our executive team and myself regularly, just ride or go to stations and trains to locate to see how clean that is and how how people behave. Super majority of time, those bad behavior, people, we immediately catch through our cameras. And we use the announcement to ask them to leave. If they do not leave, we immediately, send the police to address that issue. The number one issue is really about, very few mentally challenging individuals screaming and waving some stuff in some stations. And even just like 1 minute, that behavior really creates a bad image. And we try to take more, aggressive, actions to, take them away from our station. And if you recall, 7 years ago, board instruct staff to get a new legislation to designate our stations as fair, zone. You have to have fair to be able to in our station, right? So lots of efforts we have been, implement. Lots of those initiatives are the best industry practices. But that does not say, we do not have, some, in some people's mind, they always have some, impression not favorable. And, Director Robert, we talked about last time we were in the light rail station of Folsom, and I intentionally, when we stayed in the station, there were 3 trains come. I immediately jumped in to look at how clean the trains are, and they are really relatively, very clean, and definitely there was sometimes not clean, but a lot of issue really is about the impression. Lisa did a presentation a couple weeks ago about the safety and security, and or actually the survey by the independent third party. Virtually, 70% of the feedback is we are okay. 30% feel unsafe. Out of that 30%, and majority of come from the female riders. But you ask those majority of female riders, ask them to say if they encountered by themselves or not. But a super majority respond by, hey, we heard that. So, how we can, a lot of things are well open system. Anybody can, enter the trains. So that creates a lot of challenge. This issue, the perception issue is in the whole industry. But the actual crime, situation, crime statistics, those data, the real data, and our crime rate, our crime solvability rate in this region, Lisa told me we're the best. Our detectives solved those crime issue, very well, and we almost 90% of time we were able to catch the bad behavior people. People. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sure.
Director Dickinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to amplify in a little bit of a different way the issue that Director Kennedy was raising. I'm coming back into this world in a more direct way. It is really gratifying to see the kinds of projects, Dos Rios, Horn Road, McClellan, others that are underway and signify measurable enhancements to the system. There's also a little bit of a soap opera quality to this. I feel like I left this 10 or 15 years ago, missed some episodes, came back, and didn't miss a thing. When you talk about the streetcar and extension of light rail, either both and to the airport, Elk Grove, some of the other projects. But what I think it needs to make us be very mindful of is that we have to have a local measure to support transit to a much greater extent than we have historically. That's something that's going to be important for every one of us who sits on this board to bring to reality. I think it's worth keeping in mind that the Green Line extension to the airport polls as the #1 transportation project in this county and has done so consistently over time. I think that there's a real appetite for more public transit. I think we see that and reflected in all the polling that's done, and it becomes even underscored to a greater extent by virtue of the fact that the federal government may not be the source of funding that it has been historically, although we certainly should pursue it as much as we can. and that the state is going to have to play a larger role in supporting public transportation, which is going to be a very active topic around the Capitol this year. I know. So to me, first of all, the kinds of improvements and extensions we're talking about, to me, it has always been essential to get light rail to the airport. And Stockton BRT, I forgot that one's been around a little while too. Those are critical improvements if we're really going to take meaningful steps toward making transit a choice for more people in this service area. But we're going to have to do more and more of it literally on our own dime. And that dime is going to have to come from all of us in the community. But it's going to be our responsibility as members of this board and elected leaders in this county to demonstrate, obviously with the support and help of the staff here and other places, to demonstrate the value of the investment. So I just hope that doesn't slip to the back of our minds, because 2026 will be here sooner than we think, and then it's something we're talking about and promoting, as well as taking feedback on as we go through the course of our work on a daily basis. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I just respond
Please.
a little bit? I first want to thank all board members, especially STA board members who are sitting in this board, for being visionary and being strong in terms of exploring the potential 2026 measure. The SAC County, we have spent more than $100,000 investing in the grassroots, outreach in last year. We plan to, invest more, for the, community partners to do this job. SMART, was the leading organization last year helping us on those grassroots, outreach. Also, the STA team, asked us to commit the funding, the half funding for 2 potential polls. And 2 years ago, Chair Kennedy asked us, to help on the poll for 2022, and we did that. So we're going to contribute up to, probably $50,000 to do the polls again. And I have, we have talked to lots of community partners, and we are all in to support whatever we can do.
Great.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
just on this before I leave this subject, and to Director Dickinson's point, I think, especially given what we all know has happened most recently in terms of our past effort to get a measure passed to keep us flush with resources for both surface transportation and transit. I certainly can't stress this enough, but I would hope others feel likewise, that what we should have learned, hopefully we have from that experience, is that we can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And if we are destined to get into another pissing contest between surface transportation and transit, and people get on their soapboxes and in their corners about either, and if they don't get everything they want for what they believe they're advocating for, we're destined to repeat the history, and we could look forward to failure. So I'm hoping that those that feel strongly, whatever your advocacy, perspective may be, that can be tempered with the fact that whether you're a supporter of either or both, everyone's going to hurt. Everyone's going to be looking for resources for maintenance, operations of our roadways, and cleaner and safer transit if we don't get the next measure passed. So I'll just leave it at that, and hope that resonates, and I'm sure the closer we get to doing much more deliberative planning and poll taking and those types of things. We just set up a committee at STA on this subject. That there will be certainly other opportunities to discuss this, but I think it bears mentioning that the import of this next effort for a measure to pass is really critical, because if we don't get it passed this next time, it'll be a decade. So, thank you.
So just my quick comments to the general manager. I was really pleased and impressed with the safety awards that we've received over the last 6 years. That's the effort of a lot of people who are working to make sure that our forms of transportation are safe, as safe as they can be. And I realize that's a moving target all the time, but to look at from 2019 to 2025, the amount of awards that regional transit has received is impressive. And I just wanted to acknowledge general manager and all the employees of regional transit for their hard work in obtaining those. So congratulations on that. And then I think one of my questions while you were putting up the slides had to do with the number of jobs that each project will bring to the region, and the money that we would be asking for. And I was just trying to make sense of, is that one of the requirements in order to be approved, is the number of jobs that we are looking to bring? So I just want
Yes, that is
speak to that.
That is one of the top requirements in terms of they want us to have a wonderful return on investment and vigorous cost-benefit analysis and job creation, especially manufacturer jobs, and which we actually doing so well. For example, 59 light-rail no-floor vehicles. That creates lots of jobs for the Siemens in our community. And also buses, we create those jobs for other communities across the nation. And several of those manufacturer factories are in the red states.
So not only as far as the future creation of jobs, but our past and the work that we've done, the money that we've received, and the jobs that we've been able to create, that also goes a long way to prove that we can create those jobs and can continue to create the projects.
Yes, that is one of the reasons why we have received some wonderful news.
Great. Okay, so if there are no more questions from our directors, I would open it up to the public. Okay, I think that's...
We have Helen O'Connell.
Yes, please. Helen, good evening.
Hello. I have felt very strongly that Henry Lee has done an excellent job at procuring infrastructure. He has done a very good job of getting federal and state funds to do what he's been doing. And I am very happy that all of these projects are on the list. I wasn't sure if the hydro stations were going to be available to the public. Is that true?
You mean hydrogen? Yes.
Okay. And I was under the impression that Elk Grove was going to be extended by light rail when I went to the Elk Grove Transit meeting. So I think that one has already been kind of looked at. I'm not sure. The bus rapid transit might not work too good to the airport, because we would have to get a whole bunch of different kinds of buses because they'll have, baggage and things that normal people don't carry on the regular buses. I think the light rail would be more adaptive for that. I think that overall we're doing a very good job. But like you said, we need to get together and not separate on the issue of getting funds that will be more available for operations. I am extremely concerned that with more trains and more buses and more rides and the streetcar and all that addition of infrastructure, that we won't have any operators that will be willing to stay to operate all this new equipment. So that's my number one issue.
Time is up.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I want to acknowledge ATO President Christine is here. Thank you, for her strong leadership, and we have built, outstanding partnership, and because of your strong leadership from Crystal, and so Helen, you need to talk to our president.
All right, Crystal McGeely.
Afternoon, Chairman Jennings, ladies, gentlemen, afternoon of the board. My name is Crystal McGeely. I'm here today to kind of give you a little ATU report. Henry is accurate. We have been working hard together. We've created a joint labor committee. So I'm here to give you a little report. We talk about those things. We talk about the light rail step downs, troublesome bus passengers, cleanliness on the buses, the radio, dealing with the public, things of that nature. We also have, I'm pleased to say that SACRT has got in touch with Assemblywoman, I believe Stephanie Nguyen, in regards to the safety. When you were talking about the safety awards, I am too impressed. I've been working with Lisa. She's been working diligently. We're trying to get those things together. Awards are great, but I still have operators who are intimidated and who are being cussed out and who are. But I am here to report that we have been made significant improvement. I do know that you guys know that Mr. Mark Salvo is now taking over. The one issue that I do have, when Mr. Henry was talking about the job creations, which is great for us, unfortunately right now we're in a little bit of an issue. November 18th, the board basically said the contract for SACRT Go was you upheld it, you approved it, but we still have not gotten paid. So when we're talking about the good jobs and things of that nature, I brought it to Mr. Henry's attention the other day. I brought it to Ms. Shelley's attention the other day, and Ms. Helen brought up the drivers will be there. The operators will be here. We will be here to help facilitate. Me as a labor union, as a labor leader, I will help push whatever you guys need to help push. But on the same side, I need you guys, I need this board to understand that these drivers need to get their pay. Thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your effort. Ms. Blanca has been instrumental in helping us. Thomas Russell has been instrumental in helping us. Vince Beatty has been instrumental in helping us. So that is my report to you, to let you know that we are working on things, but there's some things that were outstanding, very much outstanding. Thank you.
Next speaker.
There are no more public comment.
Great, great. So we will move to item 5. Reports, ideas, and questions from directors in communications. Any at all? Okay, seeing none, then that brings us to the end of our agenda. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.